Yo, what is going on YouTube? Tactics here, and I have a discussion for you guys, and it is the reign of the Dragon Rulers over? Now, I know the ban list has been out for almost 2 months now, but I wanted to test the deck to see if the Dragon Rulers are over, and I honestly, just to cut to the chase, I believe it is over. I believe now that these are at 1, all of them. I only have 3 of them here, but now that they're at 1, that it makes the game more even for all the other decks. Like, this deck can beat this can beat a Mermail deck, and a Mermail deck can beat this deck, or this can beat a Fire Fist, same vice versa. And that's a really good thing. Like, originally when the ban list for January came out, I was like, oh no. If they get rid of the Dragon Rulers, it's going to be no fun anymore. We're not going to be able to do anything, because I was into that Dragon Unity Rulers, and then they got rid of Dragon's Ravine and all this other stuff. And I don't, like, it's off topic, but I don't agree that they should have got rid of Dragon's Ravine, at least limited it, but whatever. But if you guys want to still use the Dragon Rulers because you're like a Dragon Ruler like fan like I am, it's, to tell you the truth, I started getting into Dragon Rulers probably back in October, and I don't know how long. I think the Dragon Ruler has been out for almost a year now, and they've been used for over a year in the OCG and things like that. But what is so cool about the Dragon Rulers now is that it works great with the Lightsworn deck. And it's this deck right here. This was what some people call, I quote, Godsworn deck, as you can see my name up here. And it's pretty. And sometimes though, you can get a pretty bad hand. Sometimes you can get like a Judgment Dragon, a Blackluster Soldier, 2 different Dragon Rulers, and like a Wolf in your hand. That happens. You know what? That's just bad luck. But generally, this deck works freaking great. And the Dragon Rulers they just actually only have like one part, actually 2, I guess you can say. But the main part is to banish these Ellipse Virons, or whatever they're called, so you can get your Judgment Dragon. That's their goal. Same thing with all like the Chaos cards, and even this Black Dragon Collapse Serpent. And this deck is pretty good. I mean, I want to test this deck out in real life, but TCG's taking their merry old time to get these freaking Raiden Lightsworns and Minerva and Valise and so on. But I really want to try this out. Now you can see that there's 42 cards in this deck. I would tell you that Dawn Knights, you can get rid of them if you want, but I like to keep them. But this deck, like I said, like the Dragon Rulers, like they used to be the heart and soul of the deck. Like, you'd have to get these like in the graveyard, or so you can special summon them later on, and when they get banished, you can get another Dragon Ruler to your hand, and then if you have 2 like blasters in your hand, you can use the other effect and discard 1 and then destroy a card, and so on and so on and so on. But now they just have one purpose, and that's just to banish other cards, and then you have more cards on top of it. The other purpose is to get, of course, your Mecha Phantom Beast and your number 11 Big Eye. Like, when the ban list came out, I was kind of like skeptical and be like, I really like Big Eye and I really do like Mecha Phantom Beast Dracosack, but how am I supposed to incorporate them in the deck? And then, like, I was looking at YouTube, like, Godsworn, what the heck is this, like a knockoff of Lightsworn? And then I look at it and I play with it, and it's just a beast deck. Some people say it's for noobs, but you know what? It's not. This is a deck just like any other deck. Like, people even say, like this deck, everybody knows Lightsworn. Basically, everybody who played Yu-Gi-Oh! For the past, like, year or so, maybe even 4 years, in the past 4 years or even 2 years, they know that Lightsworn's goal is to discard cards to the graveyard. That's their primary goal. If you ever look at any specific deck, they usually only have like one main purpose. For instance, the Dragon Rulers back. If I'm not mistaken, like, I didn't start playing like the Yu-Gi-Oh! Game until like July of 2013. So I'm not. When the baby Dragon Rulers were a thing, I didn't really know how they worked, but what I can think of is that the whole idea of this deck was to banish things and banish and banish. So that's one thing, and people say, "Oh, then you're a noob," but then they say, "Oh, you discard, you're a noob," or Fire Fist decks. oh, this is where you bring out magic cards so you can power up one card and double summon and all this stuff. You're a noob. If you guys ever know the patterns of Yu-Gi-Oh, it is one thing that deck has. One main function. Like the artifact decks. They're supposed to get destroyed on your opponent's turn so you can special summon them and use all their special abilities. And then, there's the Boujings. Come on, Boujings. Like, oh, man, this deck is so pro. But the whole idea is to keep that one Gramado, or whatever it's called, out. That's the whole idea of the deck. So next time someone calls you noob, you can just be like, the deck you're using, which you'll probably be using like some type of deck, like a photon deck or something like that, is the same concept. But like a different, like, they have one main thing they have to do to win that duel. So that's basically it. I guess I can get into the deck profile a little bit. I mean, I don't think I put a deck profile. And this is, when I put this deck together, I originally had 41 cards. But I got rid of a few, and I put it in my side deck, but I don't have a side deck because, like I said, a lot of these cards are just an OCG still, like this card right here, or the new Lightsworn support. Those are all in OCG, so I can't technically use this deck, and I can't technically create a side deck, so I'm very sorry about that, because like you play in Dev Pro, like I'm recording here, you basically one game it, that's it. But, what I'm going to do is I'm gonna give you the deck profile, okay? It's going to be pretty, I'm just going to name the cards off. And then after that, I am going to talk about the strengths and weaknesses of this deck and what cards are like, what decks you don't like, what decks will destroy this deck. Okay, so first of all, we got our 3 Judgment Dragons. You got Blackluster Soldier, Envoy at the beginning. You got Blaster, you got Tidal, and you got Tempest. Then you have Light Ray Diablos. You have 1 Chaos Sorcerer. I know it went to 2, but you don't need 2 right now. We have 2 Wolves. This is also kind of optional. You don't have to have Wolves, but if you want to get some more Lightsworn and stuff like that, I recommend the Wolves. Then I put Aaron in here. Originally I had Gareth, the one that when another Lightsworn monster discards, then so does the Gareth, and then you can draw for every Lightsworn you discard from Gareth's effect. But I put Aaron in here simply for those decks that love to use defense. So I think Aaron's a good thing. I put Jen in here mainly for the beater. Then I got the Black Dragon Collapse Serpent, 2 of those. I originally had 3, but now I have 2. 3 Raid and Lightsworn Assailants to get your mills out. 2 Lila. Usually I love my 3 Lila, but today it's going to be 2. 3 Eclipse with Wyvern. 2 Felice Lightsworn Archer. 3 Lumina Lightsworn Summoner. This is probably one of the freaking best Lightsworn cards ever to be made. Minerva. This is another really good card. We also have 2 of these. 2 Unknown Synchrons. We got 3 Solar Recharges. 1 Reinforcement of the Army, and that's for your Aaron, Jane, Raidens, and I think just a couple more. But then we got Charge of Light Brigade, which is such a good card. I wish this would be so cool if Charge of Light Brigade would go to 2. It would just because I mean OCG made the Honest. I mean the Honest is not in here, but they made Honest go to 2. I think they should make Charge of Light Brigade to go to 2. But that's something else. Then you got your tuning card, and they just reprinted this card, so it's probably not that hard to get. And then the new card, I think this comes out in the Primal Origins, and it's called Dawn Knight. I'll explain this card for you. If you could just read the effect, it's if this card is sent from the field to the graveyard, you can send 1 light monster from your deck to the graveyard. So if this card's on the field and it gets destroyed, you can put a wolf to the graveyard and it will special summon it automatically, which is pretty cool. If this card is sent from your deck to your graveyard, and this is why it's so good in this deck, target 1 light monster in your graveyard, place that target to the top of your deck. So if you accidentally discard or mill a Judgment Dragon, and you bring out this card, and this card gets milled, and then you can use its effect, and you can put Judgment Dragon back to the top of your deck or something else, which is very cool. Now, technically, to me, like this is what someone else said on YouTube, there's a 4th that I like to call the 4th Dragon Ruler, but it's not really a Dragon Ruler, and that is this card right here, Belize, King of the Dark Dragons. This card is so good. If you just read its effect, cannot be destroyed by battle or card effects. When you take damage from a battle involving this card, or from an opponent's card, this card gained attack equal to the amount of damage you took. So if they bring out some badass Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon, and then they try to destroy Belize, which they can't because it can't be destroyed by battle or card effects, this card will gain that 1,500 life points. The reason it gains 1,500 life points because if a Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon is worth 4,500 attack points, and this is only worth 3,000, and 4,500 minus 3,000 is 1,500. So this would gain 4,500, and you'll be able to destroy, Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon next turn. Which is so cool about this card, which I do, is like those Blue Eyes decks. I love doing this because I bring out this card, and this card actually is an OCG card. It hasn't even come out. A lot of people don't know about this card, but if I go against this card, I'm freaking screwed. But Belize is freaking awesome because they'll put their Blue Eyes White Dragon because of that Maiden of Blue Eyes or whatever, and then all I'll use is Belize and I'll attack the Blue Eyes White Dragon, and then the Blue Eyes White Dragon will go to the graveyard, and my Belize King of the Dark Dragons will not, and they generally kind of rage quit. Next card I have is your Crimson Blader. Crimson Blader is Crimson Blader. Colossal Fighter, and it's a Star Spark Dragon. I love using this in combination with like Michael Lightsworn Arc and Judgment Dragon. So like if I have this card, because this happens a lot, because you synchro a lot, because there's a lot of synchro cards in here, and or tuner cards. I'm sorry. You can summon this card, right? And then let's say you have like a Michael, and then you have you special summon a Judgment Dragon. You can use Stardust Dragon's effect, and you can protect your Michael Lightsworn, and then use Judgment Dragon's effect, destroy the whole field, and you Michael Lightsworn Arc and Judgment Dragon will be on the field, or you can save your Stardust Dragon. Then I also put the other regular Stardust Dragon in here because I love Stardust Dragon. I got Black Rose Dragon in here. This card comes in handy when like they're using a lot of back row. Hopefully you're not going against artifacts, but if you're not going against artifacts, this is really great with those stupid decks that use burn time or burn decks or whatever that use a lot of trap cards, or Exodia decks that use a lot of trap cards. This card really works good sometimes, not all the time. And then of course you got Michael Lightsworn Arc. This card is probably the best. Well, I know I said Lumina is the best because Lumina is the best. But this is the second best Lightsworn card in the game. It's too good. I'm going to tell you this card is probably going to get limited or something in the future. Then I put Ally of Justice Catastor in here. I don't generally use this card, but it's really handy when someone's got like, they're using like, what's that deck? Mermails. This card is really effective against Mermails, so I would use that. And then I got Mecha Phantom Beast and number 11 Big Guy. That's because you got a lot of level 7s, level 7s. You got your blasters in here. I don't know if this is level 7. I think it's level 8. And you got Black Rose Dragon. You got Michael Lightsworn. There's a lot of level 7s in here that you can get, and it's really cool. Next, I have the Evil Swarm Extinction Knight. I really want them to get this card. I want to get a Legacy of the Valiant again and see if I can pull this card. This is one of my favorite Evil Swarm cards nowadays. Leviathan, the Sea Dragon. This is like, this card, like, I use it sometimes, but generally it's mainly for your Eclipse Wyvern, but 90% of the time you're going to use up your Eclipse Wyvern pretty quickly because you mill a lot. So these cards will be in the graveyard or banished or something like that, or be banished, and you already have your Judgment Dragons in your hand. So this card is sort of effective, and it can work on certain occasions. Next, I got this card right here. It's pretty good. If you guys don't know what it does, I'm going to read it. Once per turn, during either player's turn, you can detach one XYZ material from this card, then target one face-up attack monster you control, attack position you control, change it to face down position. And if you do, it cannot be destroyed or by a card effect or in this turn. So if there's some asshole who's bringing out a Judgment Dragon and you have this card out and your own Judgment Dragon or something like that, you can use this card's effect and save that card. And finally, this is my favorite Xyz monster, and this is number 101 Silent Honors Arc. This card is so good. This card is your defense against Evil Swarm Ophion. Sorry, I had a brain fart. I was thinking Kirkion for some reason. This card Oh, I love it. I can just, like, everybody knows this card now. And then on top of your other defense for Evil Storm Kirkion is Felice Lightsworn Arc. So that's that. Now the positives of this deck is it's really easy to special summon. You can special summon in one turn Judgment Dragon, Blaster, Black Luster Soldier, Michael, and even like a Starter Spark Dragon all in one turn, honestly, or even this card. And that's good, but that's also its weakness. Its strength is its weakness, because let's say you don't randomly get this card, or you don't have this card out in the field, number 101 or Felice, and they have a Ophion out there. You can't do much, because if you can't special summon, it's this deck is gone. Like, you can't do much, because there's not enough rank 4s in here for you to create like a Utopia or something like that to defend yourself, or defend yourself against an Ophion. And same thing with Crimson Blader. If you're going against a Crimson Blader, you're not gonna 90% of the time you're not gonna win. And the other deck that is, there's a couple more decks, but the other main deck that really screws with this deck is Artifacts, especially with that shield card. Let's find it. Let's see here. Artifacts. This shield card right here is just so good. This card and the new one, I can't say it, Achilles? It's Artifact Achilles? Yeah, that's right. These cards right here, this card, like, if this card is on the field, let's see here, special summon once per turn. Your opponent cannot target an artifact monster for an attack, and then on top of this card, on top of that card, your Aegis is cannot be targeted or destroyed by card effects. So if you're playing against an artifact deck, 90% of the time they're gonna have face down cards, because that's what Artifacts is about. And most of the time they'll probably have this Aegis or even this card right here, the sword card. I can't say that. I'm sorry. And this will screw over the deck, because no, they destroy your field on their turn, right? And you special summon this card, and then this card was face down. Then you special summon that card, and then that card effect activates, and you can destroy that Judgment Dragon. Unless they have a Judgment Dragon, no matter how many times they use its effect, it can't destroy it. And then on the next turn when it's your turn, you can go into like a that one card. It's a card. Oh fuck. Let me show you. I'm just gonna show you. I'm sorry, I forgot the name. Number 61 Volcasaurus, and then you can just take 3,000 life points. This is another deck. I've been working on this deck. I absolutely love Artifacts. I will get into a deck profile about this in the future, but let's go back to this. But that's this deck. You can also, some options. Oh, yep, I guess I didn't save. Some options is oops, I'm sorry. Let's see, Ghostrix. I sucked at Ghostrix. Let's see, Godsworns. There we go. I guess I didn't save, but some options you could put into the deck are Leon, Guardian Beast of the Great Tree. You can put in another Dawn Knight. You can put in TG Hyper Librarian. I say that because you can synchro a lot. You can put a second Belize King of the Darkness in here. You can put your Gareth in here. You can put Jeweled Red Dragon, or another Black Dragon, or even Utopia. There's lots of other cards you can put in, but this deck right here, like this form, is really good. And if you're like some guy who loves their 40 card, you can always take out the Dawn Knights. But I actually like the Dawn Knights, so I don't want to mess with them. And this deck is very good. I'll say about 70% of the time I win. Sometimes like freaking what's that deck with all those stupid little cake monsters? Oh, they special summon. They're really like I don't know. I'm sorry, I can't remember what the name is, but they special summon a crazy amount of cards, and they return cards to your deck and everything. I hate the deck, and I can beat the Photon deck, that Photon deck there, with this deck pretty easily. Another deck I can probably beat a lot. It's of course the Blue Eyes deck. I'm not gonna say the Artifacts deck, because no matter how many times I've tried, I just haven't beat it. The Atronach deck, or Anarchs. I'm sorry, Anarchs, or God, I'm so stupid. I don't remember. It's been a while. I can beat an Evil Swarm deck. Like I said, this deck is pretty even, and I'm glad they limited all the dragons. But you can beat an Evil Swarm deck with this deck. You can beat the Spell Ruler or Spell Book deck. There's a lot of decks we can beat. Sometimes, though, some decks, like I said, the Exodia deck can be a bitch to go against because, I mean, you can most of the time you can probably beat them, but with them never attacking you or anything like that, it's really hard. Same thing with the artifacts here. If you're going against an Exodia deck, you might lose because they don't attack or destroy any of your cards. All that deck is to do is draw. So artifacts probably wouldn't be good against Exodia. This deck can be this Lightsworn deck here or Godsworn, whatever you want to call it. Can be Black Wings, Gladiator Beasts. There's lots of decks this deck can beat, and there's most of them you can beat. This can be a top deck. I'm telling you, this deck, you bring this to a tournament once all these cards come to CCG, you can probably rank pretty high up in the ratings. But that's it. And the whole main thing was to tell you if Dragon Rulers are a thing, and no, I don't believe they're a thing anymore. I think they're over. Their reign is over. So that is going to be it. Next profile, of course, will be the Artifact deck. Like I said, I'll bring it up, and I'll just show you really quick. I'm not even going to name the cards, but this is the deck. And I really like the way I made it. I think this is the best way to make it. But, you know, you guys might have a different thing. And, of course, for you guys who love 40 cards, this is 40 cards. And then I have a side deck. Sorry, that's not a complete deck. This is good, but we'll get into that another time. Okay, so thank you for watching this long video about if Dragon Rulers are a thing or not and what deck it's good against. And like I said, I believe it's the Godsworn deck. So if you want to use Dragon Rulers because you miss them, go Godsworn. This may be the noob deck, which really isn't a noob deck, like I said earlier. But that's gonna be it for me. And stay tuned for some more box openings and more discussions. And we're about a month away from the ban list of March coming out. I can't wait to see what's going to be on that and what's going to be banned and what's going to come back. I feel like Dragon Ravine's going to come back. I think it will. I hope it does. But that is going to conclude it finally. So peace out, guys, and have a great day.